Night has fallen and you're weary from travel. Stars fill the sky above, and in front of you is a brightly lit wooden house, the only building you've seen for days.
Go to the
You
house.
walk toward the house, hearing the sounds of laughter and talk as you reach the door and push it open.
Enter.
You sit down and join the game. It's a cheap buy-in, and not many of the other players are very good.
Look around.
The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches.
Easy game, easy life.
The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him. One by one, the other players leave the table, sometimes with pique or with wry humor, leaving their winnings with you or the man in gray.
I'm just better than them. I don't know what to say. Keep playing.
Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last hand?
I'm in.
He deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. The best hand, in fact. A royal straight flush. Spades. Aces high. But the
Nothing
man
can
in
be
gray
really nothing
pushes
cheating.
forward his whole pile. You're not sure exactly how much it is, but it's more than you've got. You can't match that.
Unfortunately, I already know he's cheating. That's unfortunate.
The
but he's
man in
cheating.
gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt, however I ask.
Real life, I would check the cards. I'm not even gonna bother trying to sell myself into slavery. However, nothing ventured, nothing
The
gained.
man in gray smiles. All right then. I'll call.
Show him. Literally the best card. Crazy. Crazy how he just cheats me like that. He is a wolf though.
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure, but more than that. Your labor.
Uh-huh.
You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie.
Well, I'm all for one. I'm on one.
All the
I
stories
can't
and
speak.
songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As they're told and retold and passed around, they grow and change to become the stories we know.
Yeah.
To pay
Sounds
your
alright.
debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength. This is no light task. Stories are heavy.
I see.
Most of the stories you'll find will be small seeds, They might be true, but they grow wild and unbelievable with the telling. The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about their own lives. Those often get lost in the weaves of the big story.
Oh, I remember.
The more
Every
true
detail.
stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnish it a bit, perhaps, but isn't a dingy and battered truth better than a shining lie? Now,
Got a point.
go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll trade you some information about your task.
Okay. Oh. Not exactly okay. Choice, morality. What am I doing exactly? Death, change, endings, moving on. Fortune, fate, luck. Heaven, desires, fulfilled wishes come true. Choice, morality, or travel. Tell the story of the northbound train blinking its giant eye as it crawls through the night. Tell the story of a parting of a cloud of fog to reveal a brief glimpse of a land of promise and plenty. Tell the story of toss and compare bone dice on a blood-red velvet table. They count snake eyes and wink at you. Tell the story of a black and gray city where every building is filled with desiccated corpses. I like this one or this one? I like this one.
Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place, gather those stories and spread them.
Alright.
People get bored hearing the same stories over and over. But an old cliche in one state might be a rip-roaring new yarn in another.
It's true. It's your fortune, fate, luck.
It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already have problems aplenty.
Good things happen to bad people.
Well, try your luck out there in this country. See how the dice treat you.
I don't know, bro. As long as I don't roll a 1, I'm
It's
good.
not all bad. You'll have to work hard. But I'll give you the gift for seeing the true shapes of people.
Ooh.
Not many who can do that.
Yeah. Cloud of fog reveal a brief glimpse
Your
of a
deepest
land of promise
desires.
and plenty.
Your greatest wish? Heaven? Big Rock Candy Mountain? El Dorado, the Promised Land?
That's a good movie.
That place just over the ridge where they all say that the water tastes just like the
The sweetest wine. Love that.
Well, I don't know where that is.
No.
It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching
Useless.
for the same thing.
Everyone's searching for their own version of paradise. It's all about the eye of the beholder.
You sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Is it a love story or a tragedy?
Most love stories are tragedies.
Don't gather too many of one kind, though. This grand story needs variety.
Okay. Can't tell any of the other ones. Tell a story of a black and gray city where every building is filled with desiccated corpses.
I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier, but still you will feel pain. Hunger,
Okay.
weariness, thirst, and despair. They're all part of stories, a part not often told. And
Why?
death, yes, but don't worry. As long as your task remains, you come back. Go on your way, Seeker. Maybe we'll meet again, or maybe not. Either way, It'll be an experience. I'm jealous in some ways.
Oh,
I hope you find what you're looking for.
I'm looking to beat you in cars again, so you'll expect that rematch. Why'd you strip away my flash? Whoa. This is a way to do this. That's cool.
Well, I'm gonna scroll my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into
Is this copyrighted?
the ground. 'Cause when that very man come for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much behind to drag it down.
Yeah, let's get it. Is this copyrighted? We'll find out after I upload this, I guess.
Spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, I won't be no
Search.
one else to dig my hole.
This bungalow is being ransacked. There's furniture piled in the front yard, ammunition heaped under the mailbox, and a crowd of clean-cut men ripping apart a car in the driveway. The
Strange.
two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same bored grin. One shouts at you. Lend a couple innocent gals a cigarette?
Sure, Bonna.
You're about to hand her a smoke when those men draw pistols and shove you hard into the dirt. You know these girls? They demand.
No, but I'm about to know the
Once
barrel of your
they've
gun.
dumped your bag out into the road, they decide you're harmless. If you were selling booze too, you'd have a lot more cash, sneers one. On the porch behind him, the two bootleggers are fingering their empty rifles, grinning in disappointment.
Down for to take me hand in hand. This
Ah,
will
yeah, that's what I
be
thought.
my tale, my vagrant song. This will
Did I get to view stories? No? Okay. What did it say? San Francisco, California. Oh. Two roads diverge in a yellow path. See how that goes? Your goal is to fulfill your obligation to the book by finding all 16 characters scattered over the U.S. and trade stories with them until you earn their trust and finish their story. Okay. By having adventures, you'll begin to collect the stories. When you meet characters, they'll ask you for different types of stories, tragic, blah, blah, blah. Remember what sort of adventure you had, and you'll know what type of stories you got. Stories will grow and change as you tell them. Once you tell a story to a character, it will be out in the world, and you may encounter someone else who will tell you a better version of it. These better versions will be more entertaining when you tell them to characters. Be sure to tell the different stories so that you have a chance to grow them all. The stories you get from characters are wild cards. They will fit any of the 5 categories. However, telling them will not cause them to grow. So use them sparingly as you're giving up a chance to spread other stories. If you want to swap around the stories you tell, you can do that within your inventory. Okay. Okay. There's several ways to just walking, but it's slow. You can speed up, pace by whistling. Hold down the button and match the notes to keep your spirits speed up. Wait, what? The easiest is walking, but you can speed up your walking pace by whistling. Okay. Okay, wait. By whistling? Oh, okay, so this is a map. Stories. This is 237 gathered stories. Wow, that's crazy. Progress. Okay, journal. Okay, I need to look at controls real quick. Control is whistle. Hitch height. Map inventory. Okay, so whistle's control. I don't get it. Search.
Off the road and into the woods, you can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The cloth wrapping conceals, though not particularly well, something large and softly unsettled. Little eyes blink back at you
Child?
inside the bundle. The shape gives a start. Please don't tell my pa that I'm in here, it says in a small voice.
Why not?
Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore, but I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please. I'm hiding.
I won't tell.
You tell the boy you'll keep his secret. You don't see his father anywhere. You don't see another soul for miles.
Interesting. That's sad. How do you... Okay, so that's how. Portland, let's go.
They
What's
don't
up,
come
Portland?
every year, you know. The old man is sitting at the edge of a rotting old pier, crooked legs dangling over the water. He watches a pair of seagulls preen and groom each other on a rock just off the shore.
Why's that?
Just when the fishing is going to be good. He taps great, black, thick globs of spent tobacco out of a huge ceramic pipe. I got another year, I guess.
One more year of what?
Another year of this town being here, he replies, letting a grin spread across his face. If the seagulls came, that means enough fish to keep it in place.
Oh, that makes sense.
A woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis. A confident stride and inimitable mannerisms elevating the sidewalk into a plush Hollywood carpet. And wrapped around her neck, a yellow velvet ribbon, bright as an ocean sunrise. You
What's that
question
around?
a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman. I took her on a fine date and she didn't remove so much as a ribbon. Excuse me, can you step back from the coupe? That's the spirit. You decide to seek a second
I'm a-
opinion. You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner. Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere far as I know. Just around. Myself, I'd love to know who made all her beautiful clothes.
Then let's go ask her. Want to ask her one more time? Approach the... Let's
You
go
ask
talk.
the woman if you may join her at a public bench. You may. Lovely outside, isn't it? Her eyes are a beautiful shade of brown. Beneath the yellow ribbon, a thick, fibrous scar wraps around her throat. Weather like this, it reminds me of Paris.
Does it? Yellow ribbon.
You can see storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being caught wandering this rocky seaside road in the rain. Fortunately, you find the lighthouse door open, with a daunting staircase before you.
What could be the worst that
At
could
the
happen?
top of an ornate wrought iron spiral, you're breathless, and feeling the strain on your knees. Rain already batters the walls outside. You can only knock on a heavy wooden door leading into the upper level. Muffled voices and light seep in beneath the door.
Howdy, people. What we doing
Looks like
here?
we got a visitor. Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough.
Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door.
Another man, this one with a higher, more sonorous voice. I always behave myself. He feigns indignation, but his tone betrays affection instead.
Pretty much.
After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. The heavy iron knob on the door looks nearly dainty in his huge hand.
Didn't want to be out in this rain, did you? Come in.
Now, a big boy with a voice like that.
Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. And sat upon it is a stocky fellow grinning through a great hazel-colored beard. Tea? He offers, hoisting a teapot.
Y'all been here
A
long?
few years.
The tall one sits on the sofa, wrapping his arm casually around the other lighthouse keeper. 5, says the smaller, but by no means small, man.
That long? Time flies. We traveled together before that. You must have some good stories from the road, huh?
Well, I have
You
some.
wake up the next morning on their old sofa, still warm from an excess of tea. And cakes? There might have been little cakes. Prodigious snoring rumbles in from the floor above you, and you quietly take your leave.
If I go. The music's pretty good. Sure will hitchhike. Down to Boston we go. I can't do a Boston voice. I don't even know what a Boston accent sounds like. I kind of do, like in the movies, of course, but if I even tried, I would butcher it so fast. Enter Boston. Ooh, okay. Red brick, green trees, blue sky. In this weather, Boston is beautiful. That is until you make your way deeper into the city, lost among the cramped, winding, shadow-haunted old streets. Earn money. A way to make some cash. Look for work. You're standing outside a department store that empathetically had no day work available. When an exasperate woman carrying a small terrier rushes here, you says, "Want you to watch out for me? He keeps chewing the shoes, and I'll only be a minute. Watch the dog." She cries, heads up. The terrier seems perfectly content in your arms till she turns and scoops him up, leaving you with a very generous tip. Bet. Let's go explore.
This city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay out in a maze of narrow passages, no two alike. Soon, you find yourself in twilight, utterly lost. Bright light crests around one corner, a car approaching.
Let's keep walking.
Unable to afford rescue, you keep walking. The asphalt turns to crooked cobblestones that threaten to wrench your ankle out of place. Was this always a moonless night? The stars multiply, each one looking like a pinprick through which light is exiting the terrestrial world. It's hard finding your way through in pitch darkness. You go by touch and sound, feeling the scale of the streets by the echoing of your footsteps, fingers tracing the rough surface of the buildings. And then, a rumble of noise in the distance.
What
You
could that be?
quiet yourself, suddenly fearful. The clear sky tells you it's not thunder, but cannon fire.
Ooh.
The city comes alive with fires and shouting. You find yourself trampled by a mob of men in thick brown coats, a phalanx of bayonets advancing up the street. When you come to, there's no sign of the commotion, the war that you were just caught in. The comically shrill honk of a Model A running up the road startles you, and you crawl toward the sidewalk. Above, the sky is a sharp, cold, cloudless blue.
I don't know what these little sun things mean. Sweet, got a new story. Let's go to the store. How much money do I have? Okay. I don't even know what these mean. Reuben. So these will replenish life, but I don't need to. So hot apple cider, I guess. Oh, okay, okay. Go back. I don't need anything. Let's go to the train station. Oh, can't do any of that. Okay, let's leave. What's here?
A dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one another in front of the grocer. Suddenly, the driver and the rider, two wiry old men with identical haircuts, start shrieking at one another.
What is going on?
The man with the truck leaps into the street.
Brother!
Brother!
He shouts. The one on the horse tumbles out of his saddle.
Brother!
He screams.
Brother!
They embrace in the road.
30 years!
Hollers the driver. The rider, tears streaming down over his face, corrects him.
No! 32!
Goodness. Wow, that's a long
Everyone
time.
here is watching these two older men cry and hug one another in the middle of Main Street. Cars and wagons are backing up. People are yelling.
Take a photo of us!
The driver begs you. Starts hauling a tripod out of the bed of his truck.
Say cheese.
The long-lost brothers pose in front of traffic, cry snot pouring out of their noses. As angry passerby wave you out of the road, each brother presses a coin into your hand. When the traffic disperses, you realize they overpaid you quite a shocking amount.
Ooh. Let's move on. Thank you for your tips, guys.
I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that
This is the fire next.
come
Come over here.
for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much behind.
By nightfall, the hospitality of this sleepy hamlet, combined with their superstitious tales, has both overstuffed your stomach and filled you with a hollow dread. Folks say these woods are full of apparitions, witches, and worse. You curse yourself for getting on the road so late.
So, okay.
In the moonlight, every valley and hollow at the feet of the Tappan Zee seems like a stolen shred of the abyss itself. Fireside tales seem less fanciful, and every cackling crow and moaning whippoorwill seems like a demon perched on the shivering, spindly trees. But something cuts through the noise. The muffled sound of hooves galloping on the cold, muddy road. When he finally slows his horse alongside you, it's as though he had just appeared out of the mist. He's astride a gigantic black courser, and though his boots are muddy and ragged, he wears an immaculate coat with great, shining buttons. From his saddle hangs an antiquated flintlock and a cavalry saber. In the darkness, you can hardly see above his towering shoulders.
We found ourselves a cowboy.
His voice is a rumbling croak, deep, but as though his throat is filled with thorns. Have you happened upon a cannonball around here? You can tell English isn't his first language. German is. His hand, so pale it's almost blue in the moonlight, grips the reins in a fist.
Look, I think he means me no harm. Sorry, I
You mumble
haven't.
an apology and watch as he silently rides away, back into the mist. He's cloaked in black, you notice from behind, but the blood running down over his shoulders glints crimson in the moonlight.
Ooh. What we got over here? Oh, it's a camp. You can sleep. Oh.
Hey there, stranger. You're welcome to enjoy this fire with me, if you're respectful, that is. This here is my spot, and I ain't inclined to share it with any bad characters. You can call me Quinn.
Yo, what's up, Quinn? How you
These
doing?
here are my venturing companions. Cass is the big un, and the one with the spots is Flip.
I like Cass. Can I take Cass with me?
I usually beat my way on the rails, but the road news said this town was fat, and the weather was fine. So I'm taking in the sights and seeing what I can drum up.
I get
Hey,
that.
tell me one of those exciting stories.
Alrighty. You want an exciting one. Here are all the stories you've collected so far. They're organized by subject because the boss likes the tarot cards. Okay. This is the subject of each story here. If you tell the person a story about love, for example, they will tell you something about their own life relating to the subject of love. Poor things. Okay. It goes on, the icon will move to the left or right when it reaches the right side over, and so is your storytelling. The person you're talking to will usually tell you, well, they'll be next so you can come find them. Okay. If you tell them the type of stories they request, you'll gain their trust and the eye will open. When it opens fully, the next time you meet them, they'll open up more about their life. Now remember this from conversation to conversation, so don't feel you need to open up the eye all the way the first time. So dance around, get to know them. Okay. You wanted a happy story though, right? Let me do that for you. A stranger, clamor, no. Two lighthouse keepers. That might be a good one. No. No. Sweet. No. I like these. Two lighthouse keepers. They're
I
nice.
don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful. Not enough excitement for me.
I don't get how much. Okay.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about the past, but they say there's an Injun grave around these parts. Say it's haunted and full up with angry spirits. I used to love hearing stories of cowboys and Injuns fighting it up. Would swap tales with the young'uns. But, well, I suppose if someone shot me, I'd be pretty vengeful too.
Yeah.
I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Alright, I got just the story for you. About this weird guy.
You spin a good yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Traps and such like.
No, but that.
Well, one time in Fort Worth, a feller tried to take Cass and Flip away.
Wow, murder them.
Said a kid couldn't look out for him proper like. That they were fat in Fort Worth and they were going to the pound so that he could find him a good home.
Nah.
Well,
Murder.
before I could much argue, Flip bit the hell out of that busybody, and Cass and I joined in shortly. I don't think I ever seen a fella so surprised.
Yeah, especially for
Guess
you,
I ain't
Billy.
going back to Fort Worth no more.
Nah, it's okay.
I
Fort
want
Worth
to hear
Fort
one
Worth
of
is
them
alright.
venturing tales. Got any?
Venturing Tales. Alright. Venturing Tales. Venturing Tales. I do not have any but the venture to tell us. How about this though?
Well, that was something.
That
You
worked?
spin a good yarn.
Thank you.
Authority, bosses and such.
Yeah.
I ain't nobody's little Angelina, if that's what you're asking. I take care of myself and my dogs. I don't need no jocker looking out for me. So if you're offering, don't. Shoot, I thought I told you to be respectful.
I didn't even
You
say
want to
anything.
keep enjoying my spot or not? Think about,
didn't
hey,
even do
do you
anything.
got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Thrilling. Thrilling story. You want a thrilling story about this one?
What's the use in telling sweet happy tales if in they make you snooze?
Oh, come on.
My family. There ain't no way I'm gonna start jaw flapping about those bastards. Judases, the lot of them. Enough said. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't got any more exciting stories to tell you. With this one.
Ain't life got enough tear-jerkers in it without telling stories like that?
Sorry.
Jeez, sad. Oh, so you think just 'cause I'm young, I gotta be sad, crying after my mama every night. I don't need you looking after me, so if you're offering, don't. And I thought what you really ought to be asking yourself is if you want to keep enjoying my spot. Oh, heck, the night's over already. I sure enjoyed talking to you, but I gotta get on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way.
Gonna be in Pennsylvania next? Alright. See you there.
The tramping life suits me just fine. Every day is a venture. With things being so depressed, folks walk around like it's the end of everything good.
I get what you
but
mean,
it
especially
ain't.
in these times.
Plenty nice things to see if you know where to look.
I agree. Let's go gather more story.
Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that ferryman comes.
Not gonna. Okay. As you walk down the road, a black crow flutters down to the land in your path. It looks at you, cocks its head, and speaks. Well, you've got a long, long road ahead, don't you? All these people to chase down? Or so I hear. It laughs. I got some experience when it comes to chasing folks. Well, tell me about it. Well, if you want, you could go find your friend again, ask them more about their life. They might want better stories this time, though. It peers up at you. Don't they tell you where they were headed next? But hey, the world is full of people. Bet you could find another friend like that, and if you went looking around, there's more than one story and there's more than one interesting person in this land for sure. It was your gravely or whatever, dude. That's what the humans say anyway. And with that, it laughs into the air and disappears. English is not my first language, I guess.
I got no companion except the wind
Okay.
and the sea. And when I'm gone, they're the ones who bury me.
Do. It's a good song. I like this. Let's go this way instead. Ooh, ooh, story. Wait, who's this way? Okay, that's where I just was.
I'm gonna
We have more, so we'll go down here.
cast stones o'er the waters of this land. By and by, I'll see them far and long. 'Cause when
Alright,
the
look at here.
night
Here's story.
comes down for to take me hand in hand,
It's not gonna narrate for me anymore. The policeman in the trunk in this corner is having a pretty wild argument with someone on the other end of the radio. No, he keeps saying. No way. You listen in as the man on the radio finishes a wild story about the headless Hessian of a sleeping. That guy I just saw? I swear this is what happened. The cop over the radio insists. That's when it clicks. You know the story, a stranger version of the story of the rider in the woods, but with some bits of left out in play. Ain't true, the cop truck sighs. If only he knew. Yeah, huh? Search.
Outside the
There you go.
small thicket of apple trees, the phrase "tended to by John Chapman" is carved into a fence post. Nearby, a hound lies on its side, perfectly still. Flies buzz around its ears. But a grizzled man pauses at his digging to shoo them off.
Let's help him dig.
There's an extra shovel. With it, the two of you make short work of the grave. He tells you about his beliefs, why he's raising apple orchards in the middle of the country. It's a sin to graft.
He's
Tells
crafting.
ya, hurts the tree. Eventually, the hole is deep enough.
Let's bear
He
witness to
stoops
this.
to the ground and lowers the pup into the earth. Tears flow freely. I'll see him again in heaven, he tells you. Our souls are bound by love. He wipes his
Aw.
eyes. I don't think I can bear to stay here, though. Maybe I'll set out again.
Poor pup. Any more stories around? Doesn't seem so. And in New York we go. Yeah, let's go over here. Let's go over here first to this story, and then we'll go to New York. Probably finish the video with New York. Oh. Then you got some good stories to tell? Well, I heard better, much better. It seems to wink at you. Want to hear my tricks? Ones you got now, psh, pathetic stuff. You tell these stories around and they'll come back more exciting, more satisfying. So always listen to their stories other folks tell. Their tales are less true, sure, but more useful around the campfire. The boss has a point about the true ones, though, the crow admits. They're extra interesting. You learn a couple folks' true life stories, and everyone will like them, no matter what kind of stories they think they want to hear. Any other tips? Well, everyone's the captain of their destiny. It gives a burst of laughter. Oh, it gives a burst of laughter. Ain't no bootstraps in the world that can save you now, but the choice you make, they change the kind of story you can tell. It ruffles his feathers, a sort of a shrug. Choose wisely, or don't. Ha! I choose not to. I choose to jump in head first each time. I think that's the better choice, to be honest with you. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Alright, let's go earn money. You wander the streets of the city looking for a way to make some cash. Let's look for work. Shouts echo from a nearby alley. You discover a crowd of men unloading sacks from a truck as fast as they can. When the truck empties, it roars away and another surges up to take its place. The sacks are lumping, heavy, and stained with dark smears. Ask if they need help. Yes, blurts a laborer. Do we ever? An older fellow, however, throws out his arms and shuts the man up. We don't need help with the stuff, he says, stepping close to obscure your view of the goods. Mind fetching water instead? He waggles a few coins in your direction. Sure, whatever. You fill their pail as a nearby gas station. When you return, though, the men are waiting in the alley, innocent as anything. They wash the sticky residue off their hands in the water, and their boss passes you a couple coins. There's no signs of the goods anywhere. I think we know what they were doing. Let's explore
The
out.
engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. A broad-shouldered figure leans out over the rail, eyeing the skyscrapers on the horizon. Nearby, a man and a woman speak in low, urgent voices. He takes her wrist gently. She is weeping softly.
I wish you didn't have to go.
She says,
There's got to be work on some of those buildings going up.
his thumb skates over her pulse point.
I checked every day for a week. There ain't. I'll be back, though. Got your picture in my wallet, don't I? It's not forever.
Her words are split by a sob.
Might as well be. My parents didn't come to New York for this.
She leans against him, the wind tousling her hair. He pulls her to his chest.
I'm leaving because I gotta go. If there was another way...
They stand together, close, quiet, in the stiff breeze.
Shame. We still don't need anything. I think we're good there. Don't need to go to the store. Let's leave. Alright. That's gonna do it for this video of Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. It's a nice little story type game. Where you go, you get a new story, gotta tell the story. It's basically just like, you know, growing up in a small little town. Keep hearing a bunch of stories that keep going crazy and changing, and a good game of telephone. So I think it'll be interesting to keep playing. It's a long game. I looked it up. It's 20 hours long, so I don't know if we're gonna play the full thing, but there is lots to play here. So we'll be sure to see at least one more episode up on the channel. If you liked this video, please be sure to aim for that like button, hit that subscribe button. As always, see you all in the next video. Bye!